Ladies and gentlemen, the following is another exciting episode of the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society. In one corner, we have the greatest thing on God's green earth. No, we're not talking about money, Mary Jane, or Popeye spinach. He is the tranquil dart of Ringside Society and Delaware's greatest American hero. It takes two to make a thing go right. He's Rob Bass, and you are not. And in the second corner, we have that ocean crossing, straight up Boston, flight catching, shot glass snatching, always on the go. Catch him if you can. Said his name in Guyana, now they love him in Japan. The worldwide starboy, Remy Blue. And tonight, we have a special guest with us. Tonight, we have a West Coast rider, straight from California. He recently graduated the Nightmare Factory Class 2, which has actually had our alumni guests. Shout out to the Diamond Sheik, shout out to Dean Hiram, shout out to Karma Dean, and shout out to Charlie Avell. And also cannot forget, or else he'll hunt us down during the next full moon, shout out to the British Wolf. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Wrestling Fans Podcast, Ringside Society, Marcus Eriks.
Woo!
Yo, what up, guys? What up, guys?
What's happening, man?
Welcome to, hey, I gotta say, man, we really and truly do appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule, to, be on our show. We know you got a lot going on since, you recently graduated Nightmare Factory. You're planning your next steps in your wrestling career and so on. So we really and truly do appreciate you taking this time out to actually, shoot the breeze with us regarding your wrestling career and, where you plan to go, and so on and so on. So, but other than that, man, how you doing today, man?
Not bad today. I had a little stuff I had to do this morning, but I've been free most of the day after that, so I've been kind of chilling back and relaxing, man. It's been a good day.
Awesome. So, are you back in California? Or you're still in Georgia?
I'm actually still in Georgia. I'm gonna be stationed here for a while, man. That goes hand in hand with what I plan on doing in the future, but Georgia's going to be a place of my residence for a while.
Okay, awesome. Hey, I'm gonna tell you, man. Watch out, man. They feed you over there, man. Oh, geez, I can't go there. I can't go there like too often, man. Every time I go, oh no, put some more on your plate. Like, no, I'm trying to do a diet. No, you diet when you go back. You got a girlfriend? No, I don't have a girlfriend. Oh, wait, you got a career woman? No, I don't have a girlfriend. Oh man, I'm like, nah. Yeah, man, y'all got them restaurants over there, man. Oh, geez.
Yeah, there's a lot of good food out here.
Yeah, but I love Atlanta though. I was there like 2 months ago. Really great place. And the wrestling scene is booming, man. I mean, Nightmare Factory, man. That student showcase y'all had. I keep telling people, man, check it out. I was thoroughly impressed by the work y'all put out there. Everything top to bottom, I was very satisfied with, and I really enjoyed it. Even the the main events where -1 got a victory over Dean Alexander. That was not a good night for that guy. But
not at all.
Yeah, that was a very great show, and y'all, I just gotta say, y'all keep up the good work. Y'all definitely open some eyes to to all those that watch as well.
Yeah, and it's actually creeping up on Class 1's view, like their views right now.
Yeah,
it's only been out for like a week, no, 2 weeks almost. But yeah, we're already at I think 130 some thousand. It's crazy.
Yeah, I gotta check out Class 1's student showcase. I know I think that was the one with the Renegade Twins and a couple of other people, Brooke Havoc.
Yes.
And yeah, I definitely have to check that one out as well when I get time, because my schedule's been kind of crazy these days. I'm surprised I actually have time to do this. But hey, when you really want it, you make it happen. But my first question is, so 8 years, man. You've been doing this for 8 years, 2013 till now, man.
What was that one more time?
So you've been doing this for 8 years, man, like 2013 up until now.
Yeah, so I started my training in December of 2012, and I made my pro wrestling debut in May of 2013. for a company called Lucha Extreme. And I worked out there for a couple of years until that place just kind of shut down. And Best of the West in California became my home. And I was there. I started training there under a wrestler named Mike Rain, which a lot of my California peeps would know. Dude's traveled everywhere. He's been in the business way longer than me, obviously. But yeah, he's been all around the United States as well. So, and he's everything I knew from him has definitely helped me in my career into helping me also when I join the Nightmare Factory as well.
Wow. Yeah, California. I've been very fortunate to see a couple of shows over there. Y'all got some very colorful like wrestlers over there. I was like, wow, y'all. It's a different atmosphere out here, but in a good way. And I really enjoyed those shows as well. One of them was, I don't know if you ever heard of it. It was AWS. It was over there in Los Angeles, and I got to see Shotzi Blackheart before her.
I know Shotzi really well.
Yeah, and
I've actually wrestled against Shotzi myself.
Oh, cool. And I know you know these two guys, the Stoner Brothers.
Yeah, those are my buddies, man. I miss those guys. And they trained Mansoor as well from WWE.
And then I also got to see and I'm surprised this woman is not signed yet. It's still baffling to me. Nicole Savoy. I got to see her in action as well, and I was like, wow, I got some really great talent over here in California. I was very impressed. But
she's been on this show a couple times. Nicole Savoy was on AEW a couple times.
Yeah, I saw that she was with Big Swole, and I was like, awesome, Nicole Savoy's here. But then I'm like, okay, where's the Nicole Savoy's All Elite thing? But I'm not gonna get into that. I mean, it is what it is. You know, hopefully one day we'll see more of her. But she's definitely an impressive talent, an impressive woman, and I can see her going very far as well. But my first question, I normally ask every wrestler this, every guest that appears on our show, is what was the match or pay-per-view that made you become a fan of professional wrestling?
I'm not sure exactly what match it was. When I started watching wrestling, I started watching SmackDown because I didn't have cable at the time. So, but SmackDown was on local channels, and I started watching a lot of like the cruiserweights. So guys like Tajiri, Eddie Guerrero, Rey Mysterio, Billy Kidman, like guys like that were doing things that I've never seen before, and it made me question if it was real or not. And that's something that I believed it. You know what I mean? And those are the guys that really inspired me a lot to get into wrestling, and it hooked me right away. Wow. when you see Rey Mysterio doing the West Coast pop, like that's one of the best moves I've ever seen.
Yeah, the cruiserweights back then, man, they were like Tajiri, the way he used to kick those guys. I'm like, man, I used to feel sorry for them. I mean, Tajiri wasn't a big dude. If you look at Tajiri, I mean, he was like, I guess, cut up. But like, he wasn't a big dude. But the way he used to kick these guys, I was like, man, I'm glad it ain't me. Y'all can have that. Y'all can have fun with that. I'll just, stick to being a fan over here, over the guardrails.
That's facts.
Yeah. So, have you ever gotten a chance like meet Tajiri or work with Tajiri or any of the wrestlers that you watched growing up?
Never like worked with any of them, or really like maybe meet and greets at a couple like simple like house shows and stuff like that, but never worked with anyone of the that was in the industry at the time. Oh,
okay. Yeah, it's always like something like it's I don't know, it's a special feeling whenever you meet these people, that these men and women that you grew up watching doing their thing in the ring. Like I never forget when I met Mario Giannetti, that was like a whole different, like, you know, feeling. I was like, wow, I can't believe it. Like, I used to watch this man on TV. You know, he's one half of one of my first favorite tag teams, and now here he is, you know, in the flesh.
Right.
And I'm like, it's just amazing. So now that you're a fan, you know, now that you're cheering your favorites, you know, and booing, like, you know, the bad guys and whatnot. How did your journey go from fan to in-ring competitor?
Yeah, that's actually a fun story. So of course, you know, when we're kids and we're hanging out with our friends and stuff, like, you end up wanting to try the moves out, and some of your friends are like, yeah, let's do it. And you know, so we always start off with messing around with our buddies in high school. I actually went to high school with Ricardo Rodriguez. I don't know if you guys remember him.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Great
so
talent.
you know, the first time I ever took an F5 was from him. You know, on school grounds, and so, like, you know, I would mess around with my buddies, and you know, it started to become like an addiction to me. Kind of like, I want to do more of this. I want to do this in front of a crowd now and stuff like that. Like, how do I do this? Well, you know, I ended up doing, you know, what a lot of kids do, that they're naive to the wrestling business, and I just started doing like some backyard stuff, you know, with some buddies that I met, you know, and you all start somewhere. And so I started off in this backyard in San Jose, and did a couple matches, and a couple of the guys there were like, hey man, like, have you been training? Like, have you been you know, doing some stuff behind our backs? And I'm like, no, man. They're like, man, if you're not, then you've got potential, bro. Like, you really should think about taking this seriously. Like, go like, go to a school, you know, find a school, start your training. And, you know, so I started doing that. And I finally found the school that I started at in 2012 with Mike Rain. And I signed up, and it's been, you know, skyrocketed from there, man. Skyrocketed.
Wow, that's cool. So what was your training like with Mike Green?
So training is like, it's different everywhere you go. That's why it's always good to, like, traveling is always good, because you can learn from different minds. Because, you know, like, we're trained to be a sponge, or at least that's what you're supposed to do. Is you're supposed to become a sponge and absorb information like crazy. You know, you want to learn from the guys that did well, and learn from mistakes that, you know, people have made before. You know, we want to, you know, take in as much information as we can from as many experienced people as we can. So with him, it wasn't like, it was more of like learning why we do things. You know, not oh, let me teach you this cool move to do. It's more of like, why do we do these things? What should go next? What, you know, like, what ways to do this in a psychological way to tell a good story. And that was one of the things that he really, like, would put into my head all the time.
Wow. So once you got done training with Mike Green, what was your first match like, and what was running through your mind? Like, were you like nervous? Were you like, you know something?
Well,
Mike Green
it's funny.
Or was like neutral?
So it's funny that you asked, like, how my first match was. I was extremely nervous because I was wrestling Mike Rain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, like, it being your first match, especially against your trainer, you don't want to let that person down. You want to show that you've retained the information, that you're gonna take this and run with it, and you're gonna do the right things, you know. And I feel like I did well, but then again, also I was. It was a very short match. It didn't last very long. He beat me pretty quick with his move. He does a pump handle pile driver as his finish. Yeah, it's a little hard to explain, but if you see it, it looks nasty.
Oh yeah, that sounds like pump handle pilot. Wow, yeah.
Mm.
Hey, at least you're
Yeah,
still living.
you'll have to look up one of his matches to see it because it's one of the nastiest moves I've seen.
Yeah. I could imagine. So so now that so you got done with so you got over that match, you know, you teacher versus student, but I also saw that you were actually part of a cool stable, one that lasted if I'm not correct, for 2 years. This is honestly, this has like one of the coolest names I've ever heard of a stable, and it's a simple name, Skeleton Crew.
Okay, okay. So the Skeleton Crew is there's been a couple people in and out of the Skeleton Crew. Um, it was a different character I was doing, kind of like it's still Marcus Eriks, but more of like a psychotic version of him. I was a ringmaster, and
Master Eriks.
what was that?
Master Eriks.
Yes, like ringmaster Eriks, but Master Eriks is the um, and I had my sideshow Joe Killmeister, which was my clown, and then I had a few other guys that were interchangeable. Like we had Anthony Rivera, who was kind of our promiscuous sidekick as well. It was one of the funnest stables I've done in a long time. We wrestled in many different companies, and it's just kind of like it was very creative. It allowed me to be a little more vocal as well because I had to. My biggest fear when it came to the wrestling business was speaking on the mic, right? And this was a character where I forced myself to be on the mic. I did the introductions. I had my whole spiel of introducing not only myself but my crew, you know, name by name. So it was definitely one of the like if you want to look that up, you'll see it on Hood Slam's Twitch page, the Stoner U YouTube page. You'll see it there as well. Yeah, we've done so many things with that character. We did it at Underground Wrestling Alliance. They also used Skeleton Crew as well. So yeah, the Skeleton Crew has been around quite a bit.
So, you know, now you're on the East Coast. Any chance of us seeing the Skeleton Crew happen to take a bit of a trip over to the East Coast and show them how it's done?
You know, you can never say never. It's definitely something that I thought about doing for a while. I definitely wanted to bring everything over here. I just don't have the stuff with me. But like I said, you can never say never.
Okay. Because there was a certain young lady, I'm not going to call names because they're probably going to be like, oh, Remy, you're instigating stuff and so on. But on our Instagram page, a certain young lady said she put hands on you. And I was thinking maybe your friend Courtney Crimson can maybe, you know, neutralize that threat.
You know, it's a possibility. You know, like I said, you never know. Seeing as someone wants to call us out or call me out, no pun intended. You know, I don't see why it might not happen. I can't say it wouldn't happen. Definitely would love to bring the Skeleton Crew out here. I think it'd be a different dynamic that you don't see on this East Coast. It's the East Coast is a different monster than it is on the West Coast. It's totally different out here.
Oh yeah, so it happened already, but just know that they're very different up there. I lived in Brooklyn, and I used to go to shows like pretty much almost every weekend, and yeah, they are very different over there, especially around WrestleMania.
I've wrestled a couple guys out of Jersey, and I know a guy that's from New York, but it's definitely not out of the question. I definitely want to get myself out there. I'm trying to get myself everywhere on the East Coast as I can, as long as I'm out here.
Yeah. So, next question. So in terms of now that you did your thing on the West Coast, you're over on the East Coast. How did joining the Nightmare Factory happen? How'd that go?
So I was kind of already out here doing my thing, traveling around and doing, getting myself known out here on the East Coast. And I happened to know a few people that were doing the first class, and they actually got me in touch with the people that were doing it, and they had asked me if I wanted to do the second class, while I was out here. Might as well, as if I'm already out here. And who's going to say no to an opportunity like that? To train under QT Marshall, Cody Rhodes, not only them, but also Glacier, who's an incredible mind for wrestling, from back in the WCW days and stuff like that. Like, that man has helped me out so much as well.
Yeah, Glacier was one of those. Sometimes I wish I could have been like a writer back then for WCW. Like, I could have been in charge of like certain people and developing them, because I look at Glacier and I'm like, that man, I could have gone so much further. Like, I mean, he was great. It was a great character, but like, to me, like, you ever look at a wrestler and you could see, and you're like, you think like, man, if only I could write for them, there could be like so much more that I could get out of them. That's when I see Glacier. Like Glacier, you're probably gonna laugh at this one. Another guy I see that in is Mantar. I don't know if you remember that guy, but Mantar's another guy. I'm like, man, if I could only write for that guy, man. So
definitely one of the guys. Like, you definitely, if anyone on that's listening to this, like, if you ever get a chance to sit and talk with this man, like, become that sponge, because that guy will give you information that you need to hold on to, because he knows wrestling in and out like crazy. It's definitely one of my favorite coaches I've ever had.
Yeah. So was there any, and I'm not trying to like start anything. So was there any difference in the training at the Nightmare Factory as opposed to Mike Green's wrestling school?
So, the training is definitely different, because they have different, ways of doing everything. But when I was at the Nightmare Factory, it wasn't just in-ring training. They also trained us physically to, this is a, where we need to be physically strong for this. This is not something that, we can just, work a 9 to 5 and just on the weekends do this, like, without taking care of our own bodies, because we have to. Our bodies is what we're putting on the line, so we have to train our bodies to be able to take all this and be able to do the things that we do. So they put us through an intense training regimen, as well as diet plans, and then the in-ring stuff was definitely it's different. But so I had to, being someone that had knowledge of this versus there were guys and girls that were coming into this without any knowledge of it at all. I had the advantage, of course, but I didn't go in there thinking that I knew it all, because that's not my mentality. Is I wanted to learn from the best, and I had to clean my slate off and pretty much go in and learn their way. That was my mentality of coming into this class. Was I want to learn their way, because their way might be a little different, and it was different. I learned a lot of different things and a lot of reasons why they do it differently, and it helped me a lot. So yeah, I can say that it's definitely a lot different in comparison. I can't say that in California that the training there is bad, because it's not. I learned a lot of timing. Timing is a big thing. When you're doing television, timing is, you got this much time, so you have a bell to bell time. You have to be able to stick to that, and that's what I trained myself to do while I was out there in California, at least. I'm sorry.
Remy, your mic.
Yeah. So once you graduated, and they gave you a certificate, congratulations, you graduated from Nightmare Factory, and Student Showcase 2 comes up. What was the feeling? Was there still that nervousness, or were you like, something, this is my second rodeo. You know, I've done it in the West Coast. I'm here in the East Coast. Was there a bit more confidence then, or was it like neutral? Like, was it like butterflies and a bit of confidence, like together?
So I'll give you a little story on this as well. Not everybody knows this, but when I went into that match, my knee was not 100%.
Oh, wow.
I actually got hurt 2 weeks prior during training, and they were asking me if I still wanted to do the match. And it was Cody, he was like, "Hey man, do you still want to do this? Are you still wanting to do this?" And I kept telling him, "Yes, I want to do this. I'm going to do this." I was not going to say no, even though there was, I know there was a few people that didn't want me to do it, or, they were trying to push me to not do it. And I'm sorry, there's a reason why my catchphrase is "you can't stop me," is because that's the reality I live in, is you can't stop me from doing what I'm going to do. So, I went into there. So of course I was nervous. I was worried I might get injured even further. There were butterflies, of course, because I was going out knowing I was going to perform, and thousands of people were going to watch this show. Thousands of people were going to know who I was after this. And, I don't want to go out there and make a fool of myself. Of course not. So yes, the butterflies were there. And, when you're a performer, you're always going to be nervous, always. Because if you're not nervous, then you just don't care anymore. And, what are you doing if you don't care about what you're doing?
Right. Definitely right.
But yeah, so to answer your question, yeah, I was nervous as all hell. Especially,
Wow.
you've got, while we're doing our thing, we've got Cody Rhodes sitting, out there watching us. QT Marshall's watching us. All of our trainers are out there showing, or we're about to show them what we've learned from them, and hopefully we can make them proud.
Yeah. Wow. That's impressive. That's even more impressive because you did that with you were hurt. I didn't even recognize that. I mean, you still pulled it off. I enjoyed that match. That was a great match. I remember seeing
you got a lot of
Charlie
feedback on that.
I remember seeing you I remember seeing you come out, Charlie Avell, Dean Hiram came out with Karma Dean, and she announced him. And then the British Wolf came out, and I'll never forget that Tope Suicida that he did. And that was a pretty awesome match. Y'all tore it down.
And that's what we do, man. That's what we're trained to do. And all those guys in there, I have a lot of respect for. We all came together and put on the best show we could do for everybody, and we've got nothing but positive feedback from everybody. And I think that it's round 2 isn't out of the question.
Well, whenever round 2 happens, just let me know, and I'll be looking forward to it. I told him the same thing. I'm like, it was Charlie Avell that because he was the first. Basically, when we saw all y'all on in that picture of the graduating class 2, we were like, okay, we got to try to get as much of y'all on this show as we can. It's going to be damn near impossible because not everybody likes podcast interviews, or some people are like, not now, later on, or and then there's people like like you that are like, okay, yeah, sure, let's go ahead and do it. But we're going to try to get as much people on here as we can because we want to hear all the amazing stories that y'all have and so on. And we were made aware that some of y'all already have experience, so we're like, yeah, let's go ahead and make this happen. And we definitely look forward to seeing more out of the Nightmare Factory. When Charlie Avell told me that y'all had a showcase, I was like, let me know when it is. We'll promote it. We will definitely let people know, hey, tonight or whenever the showcase is, go on YouTube. You don't have to pay for anything. So stop being a cheapskate. Y'all go on YouTube to watch different videos. Go on YouTube, check out Nightmare Factory's page, and check out the student showcase. I was definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, the thing is, I'm a very humble person. So when someone asked me, "Hey, let's do a podcast," I'm not gonna say no because I don't have this I don't have a big head. I feel like some people are gonna want to know our stories, so why not give it to them?
Yeah. We're very humble here too, in the fact that so here's why I say we're very humble, because, and I told, when Rob Bass came aboard, and our other host Kathy Knight, who couldn't be with us tonight, I said, look, this podcast is not just going to be a podcast that interviews wrestlers. Our goal is to stand out from the crowd, and what we did was we actually started interviewing not just wrestlers but referees, promoters, ring announcers, pretty much everybody on that side of the spectrum. So if you're in that ring, we want to hear from you. We don't care if you make it WWE or not. We don't care if you make it AEW or Ring of Honor, Impact or not. The fact that you step into that ring and you put on a show for us, we want to hear from you. If you're interested, because like I said, everybody has their maybe next year or not right now, and then there's people yeah, let's do it. So we're very humble in that sense as well too.
I mean, when you say it that way, a lot of people don't realize there's a lot of moving parts in wrestling.
Yeah.
The referees are important, the promoters are important, the camera crew, the production crew. It's all it all has to be one thing, one team. We all got to work together in this, and it's you can't do one without the other. If we didn't have a referee in there, we couldn't have a wrestling match. They're all important.
Right. I actually had a referee in I don't know if you ever heard of this place, Reality of Wrestling. It's Booker T's wrestling school. Well, wrestling school and promotion. And we had a guy named Isaac Bouillon. And he was like, why are you interviewing? I think he said something along the lines of he's nobody important. I'm like, if it's not for, and he was a referee, and I'm like, if it wasn't for you, we would not have a call. We would not have a deciding winner. We would not know who won by DQ or by countout or by submission. It would just be one confusing match. So yeah, I was like, yeah, you
fight to the death.
Who's are important.
No, no one in those positions, like a referee, a manager, or any of that, should downplay their role that they play. They all play a big role in this whole thing that we're trying to tell a story. Managers as well, they add such a different dynamic to a match versus two guys that don't have managers.
Yeah. So that's why that's where we are. Referees, yeah, we definitely want to hear from them as well too. And I figure, look at it this way. If we're gonna interview Earl Hebner, Dave Hebner, I think Skip Johnson was his name from Impact Wrestling. We got Daryl Sharman, WWE, and Eddie Orengo, who actually Charlotte Flair just mentioned. Then why not the referee that's doing it? The referees that are doing it on the indies. I mean, why not them? If we would interview Howard Finkel, rest in peace, Howard Finkel, Lillian Garcia. Who else was another? Rob, help me out. Who's another famous ring announcer? Or Justin Roberts from AEW. Right. Then why not the ring announcers that have been doing it on the indies? You never know. You never know their stories.
I was just about to say, we all have our own story to tell, and they're going on road trips just as much as we are to get to the next show. So yeah, we all go through it.
Yeah. So, now that you've graduated, did a student showcase, what is next for Marcus Eriks?
So what's next for me is I'm actually going to be traveling a lot in the East Coast, just trying to get my name out here because I feel like I haven't been here long enough to make an impact, and I want to make an impact while I'm out here because, when and if I go back to California, I still want to be remembered out here, and I want to be able to fly out and go back and forth. But while I'm here, I will be traveling back to California because, California's opening back up. So, my homeschool Best of the West is going to be doing their first show in over a year and a half. And June 26th is the date, and I will be there. What's next for me? Traveling around everywhere to get my name out there, man. That's the goal, and that's the idea.
And honestly, I hope you hit like all those states you want to hit. I hope you hit New York. I've never been to New York before, but the pizza is really good. Big, but I hope you get to like New Jersey and Boston and DMV. If you go to DMV, make sure you tell Rob, because Rob he's around there in Delaware, so the Delmarva area as he calls it. So he's a frequent fan of the wrestling scene over there. So maybe definitely tell him, and he'll definitely be like, "Hey, you're on our show." And,
that's right. Oh, I'll make the travel. Hey, I'll travel.
All about it, man. I definitely want to try New York pizza eventually. So it's got to happen. It's got to happen.
So I got two more questions. Before I turn over to Rob, because I know he's itching to ask some questions. So my second to last question is, one of your trainers, Cody Rhodes, several years ago when he left WWE, he posted a list of wrestlers he wanted to face in the near future, and subsequently other wrestlers started doing the same thing too. They started posting their lists on social media. What top 5 wrestlers are you hoping to face in the near future?
That's you're talking like in the indies?
Indies, WWE, AEW, Impact, Ring of Honor, New Japan, anywhere.
There's a few of them. One of them was in our showcase main event, and actually won that match. Dylan McQueen.
Okay.
He's definitely someone I want to go one-on-one with. He worked really hard when it came to the class, and he was my competitor, the guy that I was trying to keep up with, and so I definitely want to see what we can do in the ring together. And I'm sorry, I'm going to shout out to a lot of my boys that were in the showcase. Trip Jordy, he was in the first match as well.
That man.
He's one I want to get in the ring with, because he's got amazing potential. He's just a pure athlete. That guy just gets it. So that he's another one that I would totally, another guy I would like to go one with. Like a lot, like I said, I'm gonna put over my guys. British Wolf, I want to go one-on-one with British Wolf. I feel like that was something that was a missed opportunity right there.
You might not want to fight him during a full moon. I think he gets stronger during the full moon. So yeah.
Well, then we'll make sure it's not that.
Yeah, make sure it's during the day or something.
Let's see. I got two more. A lot of these guys are going to be East Coast guys, because, on the West Coast, I've probably wrestled almost everybody except for one guy. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. His name is Funny Bone.
Is he a bald guy? He has like paint on him?
Yes, sir.
And he's like a bodybuilder. He's like really muscular.
Right now he is, because he's definitely he's gained a lot of size over the pandemic. That guy's probably twice the size he was before.
I've seen him before.
He's definitely one of the best guys out on the West Coast. I think that and underrated for sure. And I think the last guy I'd like to wrestle one-on-one with is my other trainer, QT Marshall.
Ooh, nice.
Oh, definitely nice.
I think that's something that should happen, because I'd like to prove I'm a little better than what other people think I am, and QT is amazing in the ring. He doesn't get as much credit as he should.
Well, I hope you definitely get those opportunities, and when that, especially with that when that QT Marshall one happens, I will definitely be like, yes, you got it, you finally got it, Marcus, definitely got it. So my next
That's
question,
probably my top
my
five
next
right
question,
now. But there's so many wrestlers out there right now that like I can't name them all right now. I just can't like. But there's so that list could be. I could give you a top 50 if I wanted to.
I know there's just the way I always tell people now is a great time to be a wrestling fan because there's just so much great talent out there. There's so many programs to watch. Like I can't even watch all the programs that they have, on YouTube or any other streaming platform. And it's just with so many programs comes so much more exposure and more eyes on people. So yeah, trust me, you could probably get a top 100.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's
Possibly.
there's a lot of good talent out there that have not even been looked at.
So my last question before I turn it over to Rob is: in 5 years, where does Marcus Eriks see himself?
In 5 years,
In regards to pro wrestling, that is. In regards to pro
what's
wrestling.
that? In
In
wrestling,
regards to pro wrestling, that is.
I mean, I kind of hope that the shirt tells everything, but I'm hoping that I'm doing this full time still in 5 years. I'd love to. I feel like in 5 years I could still be going. So yeah, definitely hoping that I've already signed a contract in some way. But yeah, that's where I'm hoping to be. Whether it be AEW or any other company that wants to, send me a contract. Let's go.
Well, hopefully we'll see Marcus Eriks is all elite or Marcus Eriks, property of WWPC, or Marcus Eriks signed on to Ring of Honor, or you're in the top prospect tournament, or hey, maybe you'll be in one of the most prestigious tournaments in professional wrestling that a lot of people tend to underrate, the ECWA Super 8 tournament, which Rob, you recently went to that, right?
No, I seen some of it, but Killian McMurphy won it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe you'll see you as a participant in there, hopefully. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Rob. I know Rob has a couple of questions for you. Just a heads up, if you are a Mandalorian fan, he's going to ask you a crap ton of those questions. So, Rob, go ahead, man. The floor is yours.
All right, sweet. Thanks, Remy. So what's going on, Marcus, man? How's everything going your way, man?
I mean, they're going as well as they can be.
I feel you, man. Do you got gas down your way? Because I hear somewhere down there, man, it might be a little dry.
Yeah, it was. I was passing by the QT. That's no pun intended. The QT gas station, and all their signs that said no gas the other day. But now it seems like that's not an issue right now.
Okay. Yeah, because I was out and about today, man. I was like, oh, man, I don't want to go out because I don't want to see a bunch of lines trying to, stop at the store. And people were fighting, like, last year with the toilet paper. But, it was like here in Delaware, I guess it was like normal. We hadn't been hit too bad, I guess. So, I guess it was all right. So, man, when you were talking earlier, you're talking about, man, you mentioned a name, when you start watching wrestling, Tajiri. I was like, man, that instantly gave me flashbacks, man, because I got to see him wrestle in person. I got to see him in ECW when he fought Taz. Oh, you want to talk about just brutalizing each other? Woo, man! Human suplex machine versus the Japanese buzzsaw. Oh man,
right.
Yeah, man, those are one of them great matches. You know what I mean? Like I remember Tajiri, with those lethal kicks. Came up there, tried to kick Taz. Taz just catches him, arm, leg, head, just tossing him everywhere. I'm like, oh man, gosh. Man, but I think Tajiri did bust out with the green mist, so that was pretty cool.
I don't think that can happen in COVID times right now.
Yeah, I don't think that can happen now. Oh man, and you're also talking about fans and stuff, man. Going to New York, man. See, I've been to Philly a lot, man. Philly, man, it's a good place to go play sports, wrestle or whatever, man. the crowd gets a bad rap. You know what I mean? If they boo you or cheer you, they love you. You know what I mean? Now, if they're quiet or whatever, yeah,
Just
no.
don't care.
Yeah, that's right.
Someone's not
Yeah,
doing their job.
that's right. Yeah, yeah. Up in Philly, man, even if you're like, yeah, you're supposed to be, fan favorite, whatever, they're booing you, they still love you. Even though they're getting a react, they love you. So what's been so when you got to train at the Nightmare Factory, man, what was the difference like, from like your training from before to when you got there? Was it like a night and day difference,
Uh, yes and no. It reminded me of when I first started.
Mm-hmm.
That was more of like where it was at, because it is considered a beginner's class. Even I mean, I signed up because I wanted to learn from the best, like I said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So, it was different, especially like, when you think about it, like you're coming in and, you, Cody is, a big part of AEW. So it's almost like looking at like a 12-week job interview.
Mm-hmm.
So you're, of course you're going to be nervous. Like anytime you do a job interview, you're nervous and you just, you want to do well. And like, that's kind of where I was coming. It was like, all right, I have experience, but, I still want to do well. And I don't want to mess up or say, I did something, I had a bad habit from learning something that might have been the wrong way, quote unquote, the wrong way from somebody else. So I had to go in there and take things slow. I wanted to act like I was part of this class, like I didn't know I have any knowledge to it. And I think that kind of, some people didn't, they could tell I had experience, but I don't think I didn't want to go off and be a show off or be that kind of guy that's like, I didn't want to be arrogant in any way. Yeah. And that's just how I portrayed it. So it was a night and day difference just because, like I said, I had to take that huge step back and be like, all right, let me start this all over.
Yeah, but then I guess, with the Nightmare Factory, man, y'all had that world-class training, like nutritionists and, weightlifting coaches and strength coaches, conditioning coaches, man. So that was probably, top notch. You're probably like, oh, man, that's awesome.
It was great. They tore us apart.
Mm-hmm.
They really did. And it was great. It was a great experience. I can say that's I don't regret any decisions that I made in going to that. It's a memory I will never forget. And just an experience I'll never forget.
That's right. Now, did you get to do any extra work while you were there? Because the Diamond Sheik said he got to become, he was one of the Stings.
Yeah, I actually was in that same segment.
Oh, okay.
I was in the front of it on the right-hand side. If you're watching from your screen, I was in the front.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. That's awesome, man. Yeah. Were you? Did you get a little butterflies doing that? Like, oh man, this is pretty cool.
Of course. I mean, you're doing a scene for Sting. For a segment with Sting. Like, how do you not be nervous? Mm-hmm. Again, it's one of those. If you're not, then you don't care.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, man. Sting. Yeah. I watched Sting since I was like a kid. When he was a bleach blonde, spike hair, coming out. He's the man called Sting. All the way. I even watched this movie that came on after Nitro one time, man. Blade Runner or something. Blade Runners, something like that. I forget, it was something like that. Starring Steve Borden or Sting, Steve Borden or whatever they phrase it. I even watched that, man. I was like, all right, Sting gonna be an action hero, but I guess it didn't pan out. But yeah, man. Oh man, working with Sting, that had to be awesome. Did you have to pinch yourself, man? Whew. Man,
it's definitely an experience for sure.
That's right. Now you're talking about because you used to wrestle before, over there on the West Coast and all, man. I got to see some of your matches. There's one match I like when you wrestle, man. You got to wrestle J.R. Kratos, man. And not only did you do that, you got to cut a promo, beforehand, tell how much you respect him and all that good stuff, man. It was pretty cool. So, I mean, what was that like? I mean, and what was it your idea? Cut the promo and all that good stuff.
No. Well, I honestly don't remember whose idea it was. If it was mine or if it was the promoter at the time. But another match that I had to go through. I actually tore something in my knee during my entrance in that match.
Ooh.
And So like if you go back and watch it, it's on YouTube. Anyone that's watching this, Marcus Eriks versus J.R. Kratos at Best of the West. And you see my entrance, and I get on to the turnbuckle, and like the second I step down, I start to limp, and it's just because my knee had popped over to one side when I got on the turnbuckle. And the promo helped me out because I needed to walk off some of that pain. So I'm in complete pain during that whole promo.
Oh man.
Just trying to drag it on a little bit just because I'm like, all right, I got to wrestle a whole match against this big dude. But, I don't think I've ever been manhandled like that in a match before. I mean, I'm sitting on the floor and he deadlift suplexes me. Like, that man is extremely strong, and it takes a lot of strength to pick me up, being 200, and I think I was like 240 at the time. Like, and he rocks me in one of the hits he gives me. I give him a chop, and he like just stares me down, and I'm backing up, and he gives me this forearm that just knocks my lights out. So that match, just the experience I had with that is, don't mess with a 300-pound dude.
That's right. There's a reason they call Kratos the God of War. They had the God of War stuff.
And we go way back. Like he's been around since he's known me since the beginning of my training. So, and it was definitely a test of where I was at versus where I was at when we first wrestled years ago. And it's all night and day.
That's what's up. Yeah, I did see that, man. Because J.R. Kratos, he doesn't have strength. He's got what we call in the country strength. He got that strength. So I do got to ask, man. Have you got they've been doing the dark side of the ring, lately? Have you been catching any of that?
I've watched every episode except for the newest Brian Pillman one.
Okay. Yeah, so, don't they have one on tonight? Isn't it Nick Gage or whatever tonight?
I think so. Okay. I've been pretty busy, and so I haven't really kept up with it.
Yeah. I try to catch them all too. I caught the Brian Pillman one. I saw part 1 on YouTube. I seen it on there. I was like, oh, they're going to show the whole show, on YouTube for free, before a preview. I was like, all right, cool. I mean, I watched that whole hour, and it was like, part 2. I was like, oh my God. Now, oh man, how you gonna do me like that?
That's you on the cliffhanger.
I know, man. I know. I was like, all right. So now, I was like, all right, yeah. They have me anyway, man. I like that show, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason there's 3 seasons.
Yeah, I hope they do keep doing more. I mean, I can't wait to the rest of these the episodes in this season. Oh man, there's gonna be some stories. Now, I do gotta ask, man. When you wrestle, man, you have some hair, man. You do the little spikes and stuff, man. I do gotta ask, man, how long does that take to do, man? Do you gotta, do you gotta hang upside down and let your hair, just gravity take hold when you're doing it, or you just,
So when I first started, if you first see pictures of me back, a couple of years ago, I used to do all of my hair. I actually had somebody that would do it for me, and that it started off when I first started. It took like an hour and a half. And the person started getting really good at it to where it came down to I think the fastest time was 20 minutes.
Oh, nice.
But now I do it myself. And I just do the top and the sides are buzzed. It takes me about 40 minutes.
Okay.
Time. I use what is called Gorilla Snot. You can find it at Walmart. It's like $4. Not sponsored, but you guys hear me, see me.
That's right. Cut the check.
Real. I use that and a really good hairspray, Sebastian's hairspray, and then it takes some time, like I said, and patience. And it's there's times where if my hair gets to a certain length, because I can do them pretty long, but I start to get frustrated at times, but. You start to yell at me. I start to yell and cuss, and usually that helps.
There you go. That's right. Yeah. Cussing always helps. You friggin' hair. This friggin' hair. Jesus. Oh man. So, man, one more question I do have to ask, man. Wrestling against Shotzi Blackheart. You know what I mean? Like, she's like her and Billy Kay are my celebrity crushes, whatever you want to say. You know what I mean? I'm jealous of Remy and our other co-host Kathy. They got to see her in person, meet her, and talk to her. And I'm like, oh man, I haven't got to her. I'm like, oh man. So what was it like? Wrestling Shotzi. You know what I mean? Is she as cool as she seems?
She's cooler than she seems.
Okay, cool.
She just like how you see her, like her personality in the ring. She's just like that outside the ring. She's just very bubbly and very just a fun person. Like it doesn't get different. Like she's not one of those that turns the switch on. She's that way all the time.
That's pretty cool.
It was definitely a fun experience. It was definitely before she got signed. So, and her trainers taught her the right things, and those guys are phenomenal wrestlers as well. So. I think that it was definitely something I'm glad I got to do before she got signed. It was in a tag match in the Skeleton Crew match. It was me and Killmeister against her and her old tag partner, Brutal Rob Hands. And it was you can find that on YouTube. So if you guys want to check that out, but yeah, it's Shotzi Blackheart. She's a phenomenal worker.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. Yeah. So. I do have to ask, man, little game and stuff I got to see, man. You like to play Pokemon, man. So which one's your favorite? Who's your favorite? Yeah, who's your favorite? Which one's your favorite game and all that good stuff, man?
So let's see. I think my favorite has to be the remake of Gen 2, so Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Okay. Heart Gold and Silver?
Huh?
Is that one Heart Gold?
Heart Gold and Silver.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I have that one. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. That was a good one. Yeah.
That's probably my favorite one, just because it's probably the longest one. The new ones are great. I'm not gonna lie on that, but yeah, it has to be those ones.
Oh yeah. I agree. Yeah, I have those on my 3DS. Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, then regular Sun and Moon and stuff. And but I have Soul Silver. I have Black. I have White. I don't know if I have Black 2 or White 2. I'm not sure. I have to go check. But yeah, I got a few of them. I didn't get into it when I was younger, you know what I mean? Because when they came out, I was like, 16, 17, so I was like, eh. But I got into it as like in my 20s or whatever, like, I was playing a game, my brother, he was into it and I played it. I'm like, oh, this game's awesome. Little monsters you train to fight, and all this stuff and going to battle. Oh, this is awesome.
Yeah, I've been a fan since I was 8 years old.
Oh, nice. So, yeah.
And I just don't grow up, man. I'm a kid at heart.
Hey, same here, man. Look, because after this show, we got a show after this. We're doing a little prediction for Impact, Under Siege on Saturday. And then after that, I'm waiting until like midnight when Mass Effect Legendary Edition comes out, because I'm going to get on that and I'm going to start playing till my, eyeballs, just pop out of my head or something. Because I love that game. We have a show, I think, on Sunday or Saturday. So anybody, if you tune in and, my eyes are all red, I didn't look like I slept in days, don't worry. I was just playing Mass Effect.
For sure. Yeah. I'm a huge gamer. A lot of people should know that. I mean, I have the Gears logo here. I've got a Final Fantasy tattoo. Let's see if I can get that on camera, because I have the Buster sword here from Final Fantasy 7. So I'm a huge gamer. Obviously, if you guys see my YouTube channel, feel free to hit that sub button. That'd be great.
Oh yeah, man. And I was also checking out, you're doing recently a Zelda playthrough or whatever, let's play whatever, man. So how long have you been into Zelda, and was the last one pretty much the last one your favorite? Because I heard that one was pretty much the best one, the one that just come out.
Breath of the Wild?
Yeah, Breath of the Wild.
I'm actually not a fan.
Oh, you're not?
I'm not a fan of Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
Because I'm not a big fan of like sandbox games. And that's kind of like a sandbox game.
Mm-hmm.
I like all the other ones. I've been a fan of Zelda since Ocarina of Time.
Okay.
So back on the N64, and every single story was very linear. Like you had to do certain things to go progress as you go. So yes, that's why I'm not a big fan of Breath of the Wild, is because it's so huge. Like I feel like I'd spend so much time because I'm one of those gamers that likes to explore every nook and cranny of a game. But if it's a sandbox game, I'll die before I get it finished with that.
Oh yeah. Now, man, you're probably gonna hate me for this, but I never really got into Zelda. Like, I played it when it came out when I was a kid on Nintendo. I remember renting it, and I remember getting it on there, going there, and it was like they didn't have any directions or anything what to do, and I was like, there's no Google or nothing. I didn't know what to do. It was like, man, you gotta go over here and burn that bush, and then move this rock over here, and then go 3 screens over this way, and then up one, and I'm like, what? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man, like, you have to go to school on the playground, like, man. Have one of my buddies, write down a walkthrough or something on some notebook paper. What do I got to do next, man? So now I was always frustrated with that game, man. So I'm like, it wasn't that I hated the game. I thought, I like RPGs and I love that stuff, but I was just like, oh man, just,
It's a puzzle solver, man.
Now I do have, I think it's Majora's Mask on my 3DS. I've been working on, but that was pretty good. I like that one. It's not bad.
It came out. It's the other game that came out on the N64 but it came out super late into the N64 that I didn't get to play it when it was on there. So I was playing it on the 3DS as well. But I have yet to finish it myself. I have an extensive library of games that I probably haven't even touched yet.
Ooh. Yeah, see, my 3DS games, I do that too, because I got these games on there, the 999 series. They're like novels or something, man. It's like choose your own adventure. Like, whatever you do, it leads to, the end of this game. It has like 50 different endings. And then the first game will go to the second game and then the third game, depending on how you play, for all three. That game is wild. It's one of them, Japanese anime, choose your own adventure type deals,
Right.
Yeah. Oh man, it's awesome.
Just the replay value is huge.
Yes. Yeah. Because there's so many different, you can have everybody like survive. You can have everybody die. You can all this stuff, man. You can it's crazy. Oh man, love those type of games. That's kind of why I'm like waiting for Mass Effect to come out. I love it because oh man.
One of those that has different endings, right?
Yeah, depending on what you do. Yeah, like a game, whatever you do in the first game can have implications on the third game. You know what I mean? So all that good stuff. So I do gotta ask, man. We're talking about games and all that stuff, man. Your YouTube channel. So what's your YouTube channel called?
So I call it the Mega Channel because it's Marcus Eriks Gaming Adventures. So it's abbreviated to Mega. I've been doing it for about a year now. At this moment, I haven't uploaded anything in a couple of weeks just because of my internet situation. But I'm gonna get back on it here soon. It's definitely something that just kind of like it helps me cope with because I live alone right now, and I don't really interact with a lot of people. So it's really like what my way of coping with being alone all the time is. I play video games, and I've been spending a lot of time learning video editing. So like I don't know if you guys have how much of a following but if you looked up I don't know, did you guys look up did you guys follow the first class of the Nightmare Factory?
Some of them, not all of them.
Some of them I know of, like Brooke Havoc, and I think she has a friend, Spencer. Not the Spencer.
So Brooke Havoc did a video for promoting the first class. I did the editing for that video.
Oh, okay.
And then she also had another one for a promo video done against when she was about to go against Britt Baker for AEW Dark. I also edited that video as well.
Okay.
Like I'm kind of learning some video editing and After Effects and stuff like that. Just to kill time when I'm just chilling. We got to learn something different.
Yeah, I feel you. Hey, man, I do the same thing too. I live alone. I got 3 beagles with me. You know what I mean? So, plus this pandemic, it's hard to meet a nice young lady. Sometimes. But oh man,
And then I don't know if you guys also saw like all the graphics for the Nightmare Factory showcase. That was all me.
Oh, okay.
I spent a lot of time on those graphics, so it was a lot of fun for me. Those are the different things I like to be creative and show that I can wear a different hat. No pun intended here, but wear a different hat.
So what programs are you using for all
Premiere Pro, Premiere Pro and After Effects.
Okay, yeah, because I want to learn how to do stuff like that. I'll probably have to like teach myself. Because
Right.
yeah.
If you're wanting to learn like off a free program, you can also use what I call what another program I use. It's free to download. It's called Lightworks.
Lightworks. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna have to try that out. Yeah, because I want to do it. Because I gotta get a capture card. I mean, I want to try and start streaming on stuff on YouTube. Putting videos up and all that good stuff.
They're fun. It's a fun little hobby, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I got I got Xbox, PlayStation and all that. I really want to get on my PlayStation because I have Fire Pro Wrestling. I don't know if you ever played that, but like doing the GMO stuff is woo. Oh man,
that's so awesome. I've seen some. I know that there's a few guys that have made me in that game too.
I'm gonna have to look that up because you can just download people and stuff. I always try everybody we have on here. I try to get on that, so be like, bam, build it up.
Yeah, look it up.
Yeah, I'm gonna have
it's always hard because like I'll see people try and make me in all like the newer games, and they don't have my hairstyle in those games.
Yeah.
So I'll usually see some funky hairstyles that they're like, yeah, this kind of matches you, and I'm like, no, it doesn't.
You're like, we'll give them a mohawk, I guess. That's close enough.
I mean, like older games, they were an inspiration for my hair. They used to have like all the Dragon Ball Z hairstyles and stuff like that, and I used to create myself like that, not knowing that I was going to be a wrestler that would do that. But it was like it's funny. I used to make this character all the time. It wasn't me, but I would make this character all the time called the Punk, and now that's pretty much what I look like when it coming out. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Once you said Dragon Ball Z, I was like, oh, the Spike Goku, man, or something like that. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can see.
Yeah, if you go to prowrestlingtees.com, I have 3 shirts up right now. They're all one of them's Dragon Ball Z inspired, one's a Kingdom Hearts inspired, and then the other one's Final Fantasy inspired. So,
ooh. So which one?
I'm about to drop this shirt with this logo on it here soon.
Oh, nice. So, which Final Fantasy is your favorite, man? Mine, to be fair, mine's 7. I like 7.
That's exactly. Yeah. That's the one. That's my favorite one.
It's 7, and then I think it's 3. The one that was on Super Nintendo or whatever. I like that one. That was real good. Yeah, 6. Yeah, 6. Yeah, 7, 6, 8, and yeah, those are my top 3. 6, 7, 8.
I think my top 3 would be 7, 10, 9, and 8 after that.
Yeah, 8's real good, man. Like, yeah, 9's good too. Oh, I haven't played that in years. I think I had that on Xbox Game Pass. I'm gonna have to download that. Man, oh man. Talking about these games, man. I'm gonna be like, oh well, my my week's filled up. Oh man. So I do gotta ask, man, before I pass it on back to Remy, man. You've been wrestling since 20 training since 2012, wrestling since 2013. So you got to have some funny backstage road stories you can share with us, man. I mean, you can change the name to protect the innocent if you need to.
I'm trying to think of something funny, but I think the worst thing is like when there's guys that don't care, and like you'll turn the corner after doing your match and you see a dude just standing there buck ass naked being like, and that's the first thing you see. That's never like what you're expecting. So those are always funny. Oh man, I think there's just it's so much and I just can't even think back to something that would be funny. I wish I did have a backstage story. If I think of something, I'll definitely bring it up.
All right, that's cool. Yeah, man, I understand the naked thing, man, because I was doing for 1CW. I help them out. I do security, staff, stuff, help them out. And the last show they were doing, I was out there when the wrestlers came out, put their clothes down, I was grabbing their, stuff, and I was taking it to the back, put it to the table so after the match they can grab their stuff. Well, I'm in there, you know what I mean? There's like people we've interviewed on here on the show, you know, they're all changing or whatever. It's like, hey, you walk in, yeah, they're naked, bent over and stuff. You know, I'm all freaking out, like, yo, I'm about to get the fire company because I think a goat had wandered in there, you know what I mean? And then they stand up, it's like, oh, it's you, man. I thought, you know, there were some chickens and goats up in here, man. Oh man. Man, you know what I mean? You can't be bending over like that, man. You're too hairy. You're like, oh man.
I'll tell you that we did one show. I did the show at a baseball park. It was like a taco truck thing, like big festival thing. And there's probably a good like 800 people surrounding the ring, like. And you know, we went through the whole show with no issues, no problems. And by the end, like last match is finishing up, and they're starting to get out of the ring, and the fans are just so pissed that a few of them ran in and tried to get in the ring.
Ooh.
Like, luckily, the promoter of all people saw it and grabbed the guy and just grabbed him in a headlock.
Mm-hmm.
And people were getting pissed because he put his hands on the guy that was running in the ring. And so all of his family was like screaming and yelling, like, get off him, get off him. He's like, hey, man, you crossed that barrier.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a good idea.
Mm-mm.
It's not a good idea. You guys have seen the show Ridiculousness?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My boys were all in that, actually, because of a video.
Oh, okay.
Guy jumps in the ring. They're about to do a battle royal. So there's not just 2 guys in the ring. There's maybe 10 guys in the ring. The Stoner Brothers were in this match, right? And this guy walks into the ring and picks the biggest guy to turn around and slap in the face. That guy didn't last very long in the ring.
Oh man,
they beat the crap out of this guy, and to the point where he's running he's already out of the ring, and they're chasing him. It doesn't matter. They're chasing him down the way. Like, this guy better not come back.
That's right.
So it's just a bad idea to get past those barriers, man. Just can't do it.
That's right. Yeah.
That's why I keep telling fans, man, you're not more over than you see. Social media got some of these fans like in their head, in their own heads. I keep telling them, you're not more over than the wrestlers in the ring. If you want to be over, if you want attention on you, go to a wrestling school, train, graduate. You can have all the attention you want, but do not jump in that ring.
Mm-hmm. I'll be honest with you. I've seen guys join the wrestling school, pay their deposit, start paying their dues, go through the first week and not come back because they're just too sore. They're tore up. They're like, it wasn't what I was expecting. Go get in the ring and take a bump. Then tell me how you feel the next day.
Mm-hmm.
It takes a lot out of our bodies to do this. So, and that's, you get all those guys that, oh, it's not UFC, it's not this, no, man. I'll tell you, I've had a UFC guy the mixed martial artist, like, I'm not going to do it, you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Yeah.
I will not. And I told him the same thing. I'm not going to do what you do because I'm not going to get this pretty face messed up.
That's right.
I'm good.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. I've helped put that ring together, man. Yeah, y'all did. It's not soft. It's not fluffy pillows and pads and cushions. Let me tell you that right now. First-hand experience. No, it's not.
So then you can tell people. Most people are like, "Oh, there's a spring in there."
Yeah. No, it's straight metal beams, and you throw some 2x8s or whatever it is, and then you throw this tiny, tiny thin pad, and then, yep, that's it. It's like,
yeah, man, it's not your hotel bedroom. It's not.
That's right. Yeah. No. Oh man. Yeah, man. So yeah, like when I was doing security stuff, man, people hopping there. I was like, look, man, the wrestlers. I was like, man, I'm pretty skinny. Y'all are way bigger than me. I'm just gonna slow them down long enough so y'all can come out and handle them. I'll just when they come out, I'll just throat chop. Eagle claw. You know what I mean? I'll do that. Just slow them down. Austin Powers style judo chop.
I don't know how well that's gonna work, man.
Yeah, I mean, it just slow them down a little bit. You know what I mean? Oh man, So I do want to say, before I pass it on back to Remy, I want to say I appreciate, you taking time out of your busy schedule, coming on, chatting with us, man. I definitely had a blast, hearing stories about, training, your wrestling career, talking about gaming, all that good stuff, man.
I appreciate you guys having me, and thank you for sending me that message. The second I got that message, I was like, yeah, we're doing this.
It was sweet. That's awesome.
Marcus, I got to say, thank you very much for actually, giving us opportunity. Now we have all 4 members of that Fatal 4-Way. We've had all of them on the show. Like I said, y'all were very impressive in that match, and I look forward to seeing more from y'all as well. And yeah, I'm whenever there's a Student Showcase 3, I'll be watching it, and whenever there's a Student Showcase 4, I'll be watching it, and how much ever more I can watch. But yeah, y'all just keep up the good work down there. Y'all are definitely killing it.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man. Honestly, it may be, I appreciate you guys telling me thank you, but thank you for having me on here as well.
So before we close the show, where can fans find you on social media if they want to find out when your next appearance is, if they want to purchase merchandise? Where can promoters and bookers find you on social media as well?
Okay, so I'm on all platforms: Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. If you guys use that, Instagram, it's going to be Marcus Eriks. I mean, my Twitter handle is @EriksMarcus, and then just look up Marcus Eriks on Facebook. That's the best way to find me. Send me a message if there's any promoters out there. Feel free to hit me up, because I promise you, there's not one member on your roster that looks like me.
Awesome. So promoters, y'all heard, you have a one-of-a-kind guy here. Definitely hit him up. He came from a prestigious school on the East Coast, one of the most prestigious schools on the East Coast that a professional wrestler can go to, Nightmare Factory. Look out for this man. He's making things happen. And y'all don't want to miss out. So with that being said, it is about time for us to shut down this show and bid y'all adieu. My eyelids are getting heavy, but we got another show to do afterwards as well. So it doesn't matter if my eyelids are getting heavy or not.
Drink some Red Bull.
Yeah, pretty much. Rob, we're on social media. Where can fans find you on social media if they want to be on the show? Where can wrestlers and bookers and promoters find you on social media as well if they want to be on the show, or hire you for security? And I see you doing security thing over there. But yeah, we out on social media, man.
You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Rob_Base82, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, all that good stuff, Rob Base.
You guys at the Twitch now. Okay.
I'm trying to start do the gaming thing, man. I'm trying.
If you want to find me on social media, not that I have anything interesting to say, you can find me on Twitter @TheRemyBlue. Our podcast is also on Twitter @Ringside Society, and our podcast is also on Instagram @Ringside Society. And we're also on Facebook. Yes, we have a Facebook group. If you guess the name is Ringside Society, you guessed it correctly. But we don't have anything to give away right now, so maybe next time. But we're also on YouTube, which is where this episode is being streamed right now. So definitely make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a lot more interesting interviews coming, like this one. We've also had Soraya Knight, who is Paige's mom, on this one. We've had former WWE Women's Tag Team Champion Princess Victoria. Yes, she was a Women's Tag Team Champion back in the 80s. She's up. Her interviews on here as well. So definitely, check out our channel. Also, check out our Teespring store. We have Ringside Society merch available in several different designs. Every proceed that we get from those sales goes back into keeping this show afloat. And Rob and Kathy happy, because if this show goes down, they'll be very sad. You don't want that. But with that being said, we want to thank everybody that tuned in tonight live. We really appreciate it. To those of you that are going to listen later on, thank you in advance. And to those of you that hate us, can't stand us, and really and truly wish we would just go away, well, we're sorry. We have another show after this one, and we're not going anywhere for a while.
They hate us because they ain't us.
And we ain't stopping. So with that being said, we here at Ringside Society are very well and aware that everybody and their grandparents and their parents have a podcast. But we're not your grandparents' podcast. We're not your parents' podcast. And as a matter of fact, We're not just any podcast. Nope, we are not the same. With that being said, Rob Bass, one time for the mind, one time for the people, one time for the wrestling culture, and one time for the man from California who cannot be stopped.
Woo!
Marcus Eriks. What type of podcast are we?
We're the Wrestling Fans Podcast.
That's right, we're the Wrestling Fans Podcast. And with that being said, once again, we're in a pandemic, even though a lot of us are vaccinated. So stay healthy, stay safe, be excellent to each other, party on, dudes, and stay tuned for our Impact Under Siege predictions show coming up in 10 minutes with our special guest, the Power Ups and Power Bombs podcast. Other than that, y'all have a great night. Peace.
See y'all. Good night. Stay classy, Delaware.